Today on the 411 from the 414, we've got an injured cruiserweight star, an altercation with a SmackDown superstar, who does Kurt Angle want to induct him into the Hall of Fame, and a possible female inductee into this year's WWE 2017 Hall of Fame class. All of this along with this day in wrestling history for January 18th, 2017, coming up next. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the 411 from the 414. My name is Rusty, and we got a lot to go over today. I didn't think that we were going to have a lot of stuff to talk about with it being early in the week. We just had SmackDown and 205 Live last night. We also just had Raw on Monday, where we found out Kurt Angle was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for 2017. So I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot coming out of this week, but got a few things to talk about. First off, WWE.com is reporting that Tajiri, who recently returned back to action as part of, WWE's 205 Live in a program with the Brian Kendrick, is currently injured. Not a lot of details going into what is going on here, other that he suffered a right knee injury at the recent round of NXT tapings that went on. They noted that right now he's not medically cleared to compete, but it was not mentioned in their story, but the injury likely happened during a dark match that they had that took place prior to the January 5th tapings, where he teamed up with Shinsuke Nakamura to take on Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe. So right now, Tajiri is up in the air. He just started a program with the Brian Kendrick, and it was going to be a great program. He came back to a lot of great fanfare, and people knew who he was when he came back. Had a huge impact in the Cruiserweight Classic, and now he was back on 205 Live, was doing stuff with the guys over in NXT, team him up with Shinsuke, put him up against Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe in a dark match. That had to have lit up. That arena big time, it. But Tajiri's getting old. He's 46. That knee injury, that could be something that sets him off the shelf for quite some time. And for a guy who just got back, that's going to be hard for him to overcome. So hopefully his knee injury is not all that serious, but he's going to return to action very shortly, and we will see Tajiri back on our screens, entering into that program with Brian Kendrick once again. Now, we move on to something else here. A little bit of a fan altercation going on Monday night. So if you don't know how Raw and SmackDown works, even though Raw is on live on Monday nights, SmackDown has a live house show going on Monday nights. On Tuesday nights, when SmackDown's live, Raw has a house show. It kind of keeps their guys going a little bit, and then they take a couple days off during the week, and then they go and they do Friday and Saturday, and then they have a pay-per-view on Sunday. Keeps the guys moving, keeps, so they're not, all bruised up and banged up, and, keeps their muscles really going more than anything. But according to the NEA Report website, it's the first time I've ever gone there, there was an altercation between Randy Orton and a fan prior to the SmackDown Live event that took place on Monday. Martin says that he was at the gym, he was working out, and noticed that there's Randy Orton working out. Martin went up to him, to ask for a photo. Martin said that Orton was nice, gave him a fist bump, and replied, "Sorry, I can't hear you." He had earbuds in. And then they went their separate ways. Martin then snapped a photo of Randy Orton when he was across the room, and that's when Randy Orton got really, really mad. Started yelling at him, got in his face. Martin said he saw me snap the picture and came up to me, got in my face and said, "What the F are you doing?" I said, "No goddamn pictures. Are you effing stupid?" Martin said, "No, you said you couldn't hear me." Martin's friend, who was also there, added, Orton said, "I can't hear you, bro," and walked away. He added, "So Anthony walked back and took a picture anyways, and then Randy came over to Anthony, grabbed his hand, and was belittling Anthony and pretty much was saying, MF or this, MF or that." That's the actual text they had in there. Martin then said he told Orton that he he would delete the photo. That's when Orton allegedly responded saying, yeah, effing delete it. Orton supposedly took a step back, and Martin said that he knew that Orton was going to hit him at that point. My 3 friends were very close behind him, and then he said, F it, keep the effing picture, enjoy your workout. Now, this is only one side of the story of what's going on, and, you know, I gotta say this. You hear about things where wrestlers are getting bombarded by fans all the time. You know, these guys are in different cities night in, night out. They're going to airports, they're going to car rentals, they're going to gyms to get their workout in. That's not the time. That's not the time to try to get an autograph. That's not the time to try to get a picture. Some of them are going to be really cool about it. Some of them are on a timetable and they've got things to do. All I've got to say is wait till they're done doing what they're doing. Don't interrupt them. You know, maybe say, you know, something in passing, just say hi. And if they respond back, maybe that's your opening to get a picture or get an autograph. You know, not in the middle of a workout, not after somebody was like, no, stuff like that. You know, we've only got one side of the story. I'm sure the WWE is not going to say a whole lot of what's going on with Randy Orton here, but that's your Randy Orton news for today. Now, moving on to Kurt Angle. We talked about Kurt Angle Monday in the special report. We put that out. He is going to be in the 2017 Hall of Fame. They announced it during Raw as well. But Kurt Angle, speaking with Justin Barrasso of SI.com, pretty much said he wants Stone Cold Steve Austin to induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame. And he said it's a complete no-brainer, right? Austin and Angle had some great matches together. They also had some good segments that were hilarious. All I can think of is Kurt Angle with the little tiny cowboy hat on and Stone Cold Steve Austin singing songs. Like I remember that vividly in my head. Some great stuff that went on between those two guys. And Angle noted that because of that stuff, Austin is at the top of his list to induct him into the Hall of Fame, stating that he was a very giving individual and he's one of the guys who had the biggest impact on my career. Now, he was asked if he spoke to Vince McMahon yet, and Kurt Angle said that no, he hasn't, but he talked to Triple H and they had an awesome conversation. He noted that this is all about the Hall of Fame and nothing else, and he's okay with that, so no wrestling. We're not talking about putting him in the Royal Rumble in a few weeks. We're not talking about putting him at Fastlane. We're not going to put him at WrestleMania other than showing up on stage as a Hall of Fame guy. And he's saying he's all right with that. He also wanted to show his appreciation, you know, for his career. That's what the WWE wants to show at this. He noted that he feels that his career in WWE was short. It was only 6.5 years, and he is honored that he made such an impact during that time that they felt he's worthy of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He then stated at the end of the interview, once again, there are no plans for him to wrestle in the WWE, and his conversations with the company are only about him going into the Hall of Fame. They had a little bit of talking about his TNA run and all that kind of stuff, but really the big chunk of what we wanted to know today is that Stone Cold Steve Austin is the guy that Kurt Angle wants to induct him into the Hall of Fame. And now for more Hall of Fame rumor news. Looks like we might induct a female in there. PW Insider Elite is reporting that Beth Phoenix is the latest name to be in the rumor mill for the 2017 WWE Hall of Fame class. Beth Phoenix is a 3-time WWE Women's Champion and a 1-time WWE Divas Champion. She won the Slammy Award in 2008 for Diva of the Year, and she retired from pro wrestling in 2012. And after that, married Edge in 2016. They have 2 daughters together. Their first daughter was born in 2013 and was named Lyric Rose Copeland. And their second daughter, Ruby Ever Copeland, was born in May of last year. So that would be 2 people from that same era. You know, Beth Phoenix, Kurt Angle, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. We'll have to see. As always, you know, we said that the other rumored names that are out there are Diamond Dallas Page, William Regal, Rick Rude, Christian, Mike Rotunda, and the Natural Disasters. We'll have to see what all pans out. But for a female superstar, it looks like they're pegging Beth Phoenix to be the female superstar that gets inducted this year for the Hall of Fame. Now, it's been a light news cycle, so let's get into what we've got for this day in wrestling history for January 18th, 46 years ago today. 46 years ago today is a big deal because in New York City, of all places, Ivan Koloff defeated Bruno Sammartino to end Sammartino's 2,803-day it's the Worldwide Wrestling Federation at the time championship. 2,803 days. You thought that the New Day's run was long? This is the longest one we've got out there. It went back to 1963. That's how long he had it. This is a record that is never going to get broken. When Koloff won the championship, the entire Madison Square Garden crowd silent. Like, some people were crying about it. They didn't want a riot to happen at this. Like, they felt it was time for Bruno to give up the belt and time for put it on somebody else, and they put it on Ivan Koloff. To prevent a riot, they never announced that Koloff won over the loudspeaker, that he was the new Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion. That's how crazy the fans were for Bruno Sammartino back in the day. They wanted to see that reign continue probably till today. But then 19 years ago today, the WWF presented the Royal Rumble from San Jose Arena in San Jose, California. Got a bunch of crazy matches on here. Vader defeating Goldust. Max Mini, Mosaic, and Nova defeated Battalion, El Torito, and Tarantula in a mini tag team match. You gotta love the mini tag team matches. Sonny was the special referee for that one. Oddly enough, that got 3.5 stars. Crazy to think about that. The Rock defeated Ken Shamrock by disqualification to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Then we had the Legion of Doom. Road Warrior Animal and Road Warrior Hawk defeated the New Age Outlaws of Billy Gunn and Road Dogg by disqualification. So 2 disqualification matches in a row. Oh my God. In a WWF World Tag Team Championship match, Shawn Michaels defeated The Undertaker in a casket match. This was a pretty good casket match, if I must say so, for as far as casket matches go, to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, Kane, who was thought to be interfering on The Undertaker's behalf, came on down, cost The Undertaker the match, and burned the casket. Undertaker, when they opened it up, wasn't found to be in the casket. They put the fire out. No Undertaker. Then we moved on to the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble itself was won by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold would be the second back-to-back Royal Rumble winner ever, and the third of the 1990s. You had Hulk Hogan going back-to-back in 90 and 91. Shawn Michaels won in 95 and 96. And then it would be over 10 years later before someone else won their second Royal Rumble. It took John Cena. He did his in 2008 and 2013. And Batista did his in 2005 and 2014. And another side note, Mick Foley was in this match 3 times. He came in as Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love, all in the same one. So Foley had quite a run inside of this Royal Rumble itself. Along the same lines of history here, we always talk birthdays. If we got a birthday, happy 48th birthday to a man we've already mentioned before, Dave Michael Bautista. You guys all know him as Batista, 6-time world champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, the second one everyone was really pissed off about, and 3-time tag team champion. He's also been in some MMA stuff for a little itty bitty bit, and then has done nothing but movies ever since. You know him as Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy and the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He was also in Spectre as Mr. Hinks, and he was the villain Tong Po in the Kickboxer reboot that came out last year. So he's got that under his belt. Dave Bautista definitely sticking to the Hollywood side of things. And then a happy, very happy 63rd birthday to Theodore Marvin DiBiase, best known to us as the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He has held over 30 different championships worldwide, but most famously, he was officially unrecognized $1 million champion. He was the $1 million champ. And the 1988 King of the Ring, he also won a 3-time WWF Tag Team Championship with IRS as one half of Money Inc. Currently, he's a member of the WWE 2010 Hall of Fame class, and right now, he's a minister. That's what Ted DiBiase does right now. But man, I sure miss me some $1 Million Man. He was a good guy on TV. I loved it when he'd be going around, him and Virgil, flashing cash all over the place. It was definitely some good stuff. I mean, the $1 Million Man tried to buy the WWF Championship. Some great stuff. That's stuff they don't do anymore. Stuff you don't think of. But that's all we've got for the 411 from the 414. As always, my name is Rusty. We'll see you guys on Friday. I'm out.